Welcome back to Trades and Gains, everybody. I'm your host, Max Pitts. Today's April 28th, and we're diving into a jam-packed week where we're big tech earnings, tariff drama, and economic landmines are absolutely going to collide, you dirt bags. Now, markets started shaky but fought back into the green. The S&P 500 saw a 0.2% gain, while the Nasdaq saw a 0.1% gain on the day. The Dow notched its fifth straight win day, which is crazy for this little red-headed stepchild, with a 0.4% gain. Now, let's dig into the key movers, options flow, and dark pool action you can't afford to miss. So, market snapshot, the S&P 500, the fifth straight day of green here. The Dow, it's the longest win streak of 2025 so far. And the Nasdaq, tech was lagging slightly, but there's signs of accumulation going on in the backgrounds from the big boys. Now, some sentiment drivers today. Trump signals tariff light at the end of the tunnel. So maybe we finally are seeing some progress here, but I'm not banking on it. Not betting my money on that, folks. The next thing we had here was China easing select duties. Is this a positive gesture? We also have heavyweight earnings coming from Apple, Meta, Microsoft, and Amazon coming this week. And we have PCE inflation data as well as the GDP print coming for us on Wednesday. Now, some of our top headlines today. Number one was the Trump tariff watch. Treasury Secretary Besnett, it's up to China now. Basically, the ball is in your court. The markets cautiously are optimistic, but are wary of another Trump pivot because there's no telling what's going to happen with that guy at the end of the day. On the big tech earnings front and center, we have 180 S&P 500 companies reporting this week. Apple, Amazon, Meta, and Microsoft. This market could swing 3 to 5% on misses or beats. Economic data is starting to show cracks. Texas manufacturing is at a 4-year low. The Port of LA shipments are down 36% year over year. Is an economic slowdown incoming and we're just not aware of it? Some GLD prints from earlier today might just show that. And we have eyes glued to Wednesday's PCE and GDP numbers. And for our sector moves, we had NVIDIA sink 2% after Weiwu's new AI chip news. Tesla faded 3% despite strong last week, and Meta plus Apple saw modest gains on earnings optimism. Now, let's go ahead and switch over to our favorite data provider, Investor Central Club, and talk about some of our big money moves from today. So, looking at our big money in the options flow, we had QQQ on top with a $234 million print and another $116 million print. And this was for the 450 and the 460, 478 puts. And this is definitely a hedge going into earnings. We also had SOFI with a $4 million premium, giving them around 77,000 contracts at the $15 strike, expiring on May 16th with an 89% IV. Tesla also saw some bearish put sweeps on June of the $280 put here. $6 million dropped on that bad boy right now. Now let's go and look at some of our unusual highlights as well. On the unusual side of things, we had SLV with two monster back-to-back orders here. We saw 2.48 million on SLV and 16.4 million. So it looks like somebody has some conviction in SLV coming up for June. Is there a silver squeeze incoming here? Potentially. We also had American Airlines here with 626,000 dropped on the $11 calls. And then I think we also had some other AALs further down the line as well. Yep, another one for 290K on those same as well. It looks like someone's betting on a travel bounce. And then we also had running today. We saw the June $8 call seeing some heavy accumulation with solar names starting to heat up. Now let's go ahead and move over to our dark pool data here. So in our dark pools, we had a SOFI. Let me go ahead and pull this up. Okay, perfect. We got it up. We had EZU leading the day with 731.35 million on that. We had some QQQ in here with some massive dark pool prints at the 474.64 level, about 147 million ran right there. Short-term bounce is definitely likely. And then we also saw NVDA with some dark pool selling starting to intensify. So watch for pressure below the $108 level. Now, heading back into our news for the day, we had some macro backdrops happening as well. We had oil sinking with crude down 2%, with demand concerns rising. We had gold rebounding with up 1.8% as a safe haven demand trickles back. We saw, again, those big orders for those GLD calls come in earlier today, back to back, for around, I believe, a couple $1 million. Mortgage rates are steady at 6.7%. My prediction is holding true from September, but consumer sentiment is definitely fragile, especially with that Michigan consumer report coming in on Friday, hitting a low that hasn't been seen since November of 2022. Now, some trading strategies we can look at. For the short term, could we fade the pump? Maybe. The tech rally looks fragile without strong earnings confirmation coming through. Key levels for SPY, we're seeing at SPX, 5,500 is major resistance. NDX is seeing 17,300 for fakeouts. And QQQ, 475 is the critical line in the sand, as we're seeing a lot of call buying and a lot of put buying below that level as well. The tactical play here is straddle earnings plays. Buy one on each side and just see which one's going to pay out the best, because there will be some vicious swings for some of these companies. And hedge longs with puts into big tech reports. But that's all we have for today's market recap. If you got anything out of this, make sure you hit that bell notification so you never miss a Trades and Gains market recap. Smash the like and stay locked into Trades and Gains. Go ahead in the comment below and drop your take. Is the biggest earnings play this week? Are you going to long or short QQQ going into Thursday? Stay smart, stay paid, and I'll catch you next time, my friends.